Hi, my name is Bailey. This is for Supply Chain Management, and today I am talking about the rail transportation and how it pertains to supply chain. So the first question that we have to look at when we're talking about rail transportation is what is it? And when a lot of people hear this, they think about the train cars that you would see in intersections at town or just any rail cars in general that you pass by. And often when you see them in long, long lines and are known for, taking a long while to go through. So rail transportation is the use of these freight cars, what's known to be stacked in large quantities, as I'm sometimes saying can feel like they're going for miles and miles. They go all the way across the country and lots of countries, which is the great thing about them, is that they're used and intended for the use of um, land mode. So it's something that is a great alternative as opposed to things like trucks and anything on land because it's just less congested because it's not as common. So cars on the trains are actually referred to as rail cars is the official term that they use when they're talking about this mode. So some thoughts about railroads is that drones actually assist in monitoring rail tracks and they are often used in aerial views to make sure there are not any obstacles that GPS wouldn't pick up on because the thing is with GPS, it is like it's not that it's not accurate necessarily, it's just that it's not up to date because it takes so long to get satellite views. So drones trying to go around make sure there's not things like something blocking the tracks or animals or maybe just some rail ties that are unsafe or could threaten the conductor's safety or the safety of the cargo being transported. And one of the great things about trains is they are one of the most eco-friendly modes of transportation, which is very good because you want to make sure that when you're picking out a mode, you want to make sure that your carbon footprint is not very high because it will ultimately save you money in the long run, and it's just so to make sure that you're not emitting more things into the air than necessary, and you're not leaving more pollution than you really have to be. So, how are railroads related to supply chain management? They reduce congestion in the other modes, so if you have somebody who is using rail transportation, then if this company is like a major company, like say, I don't know, the size of Amazon or Microsoft, then if you have a company that is using, say, 50% rail transportation and 50% truck transportation primarily, then having the other half of rail transportation means that you're not going to be putting as many trucks on the road, which is a good thing because you don't want to have all of your modes of transportation reliant in just this one mode because that's just a lot of congestion and it just means that there's not very many alternatives if something were to go wrong. So you want to make sure that you are making use of as many modes as possible because things always happen. There's always car accidents. There's always reasons that planes cannot fly, like turbulence and that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're distributing your modes evenly. And rail transportation is an eco-friendly option, which is something that consumers want to take into account. They want to make sure they're doing something that is not only leaving a high carbon footprint. Roads can be used in rural areas as well. Sometimes you'll see them in the middle of nowhere, which means once again it's not going to be as congested, and you're making use of land where you don't really have to worry about high volumes. And speaking of high volumes, rail cars not going to be transporting very high volumes. Like I said, it's a lot in one load, and there's reasons that they do this because they want to make sure they're being as efficient as possible. And the great thing is that you can just drop off cars and switch them off as you like. So what I learned is that there are more than 600 railroads in the U.S. alone, and I also learned about drones monitoring the obstacles, which I did not know before. And something else I learned that I didn't really cover as much is that railroads can actually be switched, rail cars can be switched on and off, and you can use to make custom orders for the customer. so you can just go on and off as you want. So if you have a really big order for one customer, then you can just switch off what you don't need at a train stop and just put on what you do need and just make a straight shot to the customer. And these are the sources that I use.